Condos, yeah. Record the dance. And the left. Next, it's a matter. Okay, so now we're going to recite some mantra, and first praise to the Lama Tsongkhapa. So we recite this in Tibetan 3 times, and then we do the praise to the Buddha Shakyamuni and recite the mantra 3 times, and then also medicine Buddha and JRC mantra, and also that 7-line prayer to the Guru Rinpoche, and then the Tara mantra, so Lochema mantra. This order, we praise to them, and then recite the mantra 3 times.
Losang Chabi Chalai Sowande Tunge Tuje Shaji Aji Doi Ji Shenji Moto Tujoi Pijoi Ba Sejoi Lombo Tawo Jabi Goi Shaji Jabo Chelai Chanting Lord Munia Monia Yeso Om Monia 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 Yeso Om Monia 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 Yeso Tujia Galai Namgyal chanting Tentoi Tibia Ngenjoi Ziongai Tuzo Neze Sanjia Menjo Lai Menjo Yaya Gelai Chante Loi Tiada Omo Beganje Beganje Ma Beganje Beganje Ranza Samu Gadio Soga Yada Omo Beganje Beganje Ma Beganje Beganje Ranza Samu Gadio Soga Yada Omo Beganje Beganje Ma Beganje Beganje Ranza Samanga Dia Sohai Shenje Mage Kondo Karai Zoso Jenje Walaije Tuje Jenje Andolai Zia Jere Zilai Shante Loi Mani Peme Omo Mani Peme Om Mani Peme Ujjayajan Najoy Zoi Pema Kesai Dumboy Lai Yanzen Chugoy Gidonya Pema Juni Shesoi Zoi Kodoy Kandro Mombie Koi Chejo Jeso Dodro Je Chanje la joy jeso so Guru Pema Sedo Mo Benza Guru Pema Sedo Omo Benza Guru Pema Sedo Omo Benza Guru Pema Sedo Adolami Jemia Jia Shaja Pemo Ladoine Pomba Gulia Jonze Mai Joma Yala Shanze Loi Om Tare Ture Sohai Om Tare Ture Sohai Om Tare Tare Sohai Jawai Ganja Yejia Jama Ye Chandra Nambai Trawa Leshore Namo Kangyang Drove Nedyakya Kunya Shante Chala Chante Loi Omoi Pijati Anai Shawai Sawan Dora Pasha Manaya Soha Omoi Pijati Panai Shawai Sawan Dora Pasha Manaya Soha Omo Pijati Panai Shawai Sawan Dora Pasha Manaya Soha. Okay, so now we do the dedication. Oi Jela Deje
Sowai Tabi Ti Tazo Kondo Nebi Sajoi So Nedo Wambo Tazi Shawai To Chido Tashi Bewan Jedo So. Okay, so now we do the long life prayer for His Holiness Dalai Lama and also our Zachuji Rinpoche.
Oi Konra Ravi Goye
Shingo Indra Pendo Dewa Malin Jovene Tere Simo Tenze Janzo Yo Shabe Sante Pato Tenjero
Jamia Tubia
Tembo Zambi Zoy Losoy Jawa Nibia Diluja Dongoy Dongji Peloi Dajawa Sume Pande Lamai Sowande. Okay. Contribution. 이번 사실들이 So, TThe everyone again, and so last time we talked about the in the wheel of life there's the center there's three like a poison, and then the next wheel there's what you call represent for intermediate state, and as I show you the before, so as I show you before, that second round, there are, one side is like white color, and then like, the people are working like up, right side, like, and then other side is dark, and then there's many like, the upside down, like coming down, right? These two, that white and black is also represent virtuous deed and non-virtuous deed. This white part is like if you accumulate virtuous deed and then like going up to the three higher realms, and then if you accumulate non-virtuous deed and then that like going down to the three lower realms. So this white and dark also represent like a virtuous deed and non-virtuous deed. And now we're going to do today, like, the third level of the round. This round, this one is represent for what you call 6 realms. 3 higher realms and then 3 lower realms. The 3 higher realm is God, demigod, and then human realm, like God realm, demigod realm, human, like human beings realm. And then 3 lower realm is the hell realm, hungry ghost realm, and then animals realm. So these 3 is we call it like 3 lower realms. So So yeah, this third round, like all like represent like for represent the sixth realm, and there are many different feature about wheel of life. So this I show you here. There are six, right? So this one has a six. Some of them has only like a five. You know, even that this wheel of life name like another name we call like Koenkolo Koenkolo Changawa, like you know that because it has a five part, like you know that. So when it's a five part, you know that means like God and demigod they put together because they both are like kind of like a God realm. So that's why you know the God and demigod they put together. Okay, I got. Everybody here pretty good? Geshe, I'm unable to hear. Am I the only one? Yeah, I think maybe something your side. The box insert shows your microphone off. I think the box insert. Maybe it's something your side. Yeah. I can hear fine, just fine. Can hear well. I'm here and it's working for me. Yeah, I think it's something your side, you know, that can you check your everything, you know, that. Yeah, seems like okay. Yeah, so this third round is represent for like a sixth round, and the the first one, the center, like you know, this one is a kind of like a represent like a goat, goat ram, and then here this is demigod, and then here this is like a human, and then here this is animal ram, and this bottom like another bigger one is hell ram, and then here like a hungry ghost. So if you look, you know, the look at this picture like very detailed, you know, it's like, for example, like if it's animals rams, they wrote lots of like animal and, you know, something that is necessary for animals. And then if it's like, you know, that human beings ram, they, they wrote that, you know, the human, we call like Nelly Lucia means like, you know, that represent like not only like human, like you know the something that necessary for human beings, like look at here like house, farm, and then there's some tent, like you know, and then somebody like farming and some, you know, that animals. So this is the human being, like this is six realms. So then if you look at the goat, you know, that, there's a tree, like we call this one is Shipasam Jemba, like, you know, the special trees look like a kind of like a, you know, the mythology stories look like a Christmas tree. Like so, the root is grew up from the demigod, and then it's like up to the heaven, like the god realm, and then like so half of them like is in a demigod, and then half of them is in a god realm. So, and then yeah, these two are like a heavenly, the god realm. See the human realm, like you saw, like the houses, stuff, and then the hungry ghost, everybody like the big stomach, and then very tiny neck. So usually, like when we write the hungry ghost, we write kind of like a big stomach, and then very turning like the neck, like which means like they need to eat a lot because a big stomach, but there's no way to go inside. Like you usually say, like people like who very like stingy, then like kind of like stingy, like a kind of causes to born in a hungry ghost. And then the animal realms, there's elephant, horse, and lots of animals, right? So then the hell realms, like that we call like Nyankam Choje, like there's 18 different section in the hell realms. I think this center, this one is we call like a shije, that kind of like a judge. And then these are different, like that we call like chanya je, tunya je, like some area is too hot and some area is too cold, like they're suffering lots of different stuff. So anyway, this the sixth ran is a third, like but still in a within, like in this circle. Even though like a god and demigod ran, like human beings ran also in this circle, which means like all these six realms is in a samsara. And then the central, like there's three poison, right? Because of this three poison, then like the through the intermediate state, we born in this sixth realm, like something that you accumulate, the virtuous deed or non-virtuous deed through the three poisons, and then you accumulate like causes to born in the sixth realm, something that you accumulate virtuous deed, the through these three poisons, then it's going to be like causes to the three higher realms, and then non-virtuous deed is going to causes to the three lower realms. So anyway, all those six realms are in what you call that, still in samsara, even though you born in a that god or demigod, still you are in a samsara, like that means like a nature of suffering. So there, that all these six realms, like they're god and demigod, like they fight each other, suffering, like the fighting, and then they're suffering because god and demigod, like we Tibetan call it like tapsumba, they know where they come from and they know where they are going, and so they have a kind of like a miracle power, and they remember their previous life and they know kind of predicted their where they're going. So there are lots of suffering because if you know that you sure that you're going to like three lower realms, so how scary it is, that is it is, for example, for us, we really not sure like we're going to born, that the better life or not. We're not sure, but everybody very scared to die. So think like, that like God realms, they know that they're going to born like in next life. If it's like something three lower realms, how scared, So we, their like a facility, everything is, the much better, like much better than three lower realms. Also like better than like human beings realm, but three, still there are lots of like suffering. And then human beings also, all we know that, there are lots of like, that all like we go through the, aging, sickness, dying, those are kind of general suffering. And then there's like, the special, like, this pandemic disease. There are lots of like suffering, and then of course in a, three lower realms, hungry ghosts, they always are like kind of hungry. And then animal realms, they, that big animals, they eat like each other, we call it chili cheese, they eat each other. There are lots of like stuff. Then human beings, that make lots of stuff towards the animals realm. So there are many like, so then the hell realms also, as I talked at before, like there's 18 different sections. These all are very like, the bad situation, very suffering. So those are the like each of them. So today I'm going to share like, that in a Lamrim, the general like, the what kind of suffering in a six realms. Like there's a general like, so one. So I am going to share like that one. So I put that, the English here. And here and is working for me. So, okay. I'm going to send in chat. Like this, there are six, these six are general, like, the first one is the defect. Um, First one is the defect of being uncertain. Second one is the defect of providing no satisfaction. And third one is the defect of having to discard one body again and again. And then I think this is fourth one, the defect of having to be reborn again and again. And the fifth one is the defect of having to fall from a high position to a low one again and again. The sixth one is the defect of having no companion. So these six, the suffering is kind of like a general, like all, what you call that, all like, the, once you born in the, the one of the six realms, and then like you go through like this, all of them. This is the general like suffering in a samsara. So the first one is we call like nyepa maybe nyepa, like, the defect of being uncertain. So uncertain, like, the being like uncertain, like we, for example, like think we are very, we don't know like when we're going to die, or like we don't know what like we're going to happen, like, the tomorrow, everything is very uncertain. Everything is very uncertain. So that's why, like, the defect of being uncertain. So there are some quote I'm going to send like one by one, and those are very beautiful. Some of them like from Buddha Shakyamuni, and maybe I will send all together. I don't know, maybe it's too much or not. Some of them from Buddha Shakyamuni, some of them from Nagarjuna, some of them from Shantideva. So I'm going to send all together. We'll see if it's work or not. No, I think it's too much. Okay, so I'm going to send one by one. So this first one is the letter to the friend, like we call like a Sheviti. So there's one Nagarjuna's, like a Nagarjuna's textbook. This is the written by Nagarjuna. It says, a father become a son, a mother become a wife, and one who was an enemy becomes a friend, because the opposite of this can occur as well. There's no certainty whatsoever in samsara, like, so that's the Nagarjuna's, like, when he explained about the, the uncertain, like, the how we are uncertain. So he says, father becomes a son, which means like, the previous life, like maybe like your father is this life, maybe it could be like your son, and then mother becomes a wife, and then also one who was an enemy, like your enemy becomes a friend, and then like because the kind of, because everything is uncertain, like it could be changed, like we don't need to think about the next life, we don't need to think about the previous life. In this life also, like how many friends like become your enemy, like how many enemy becomes like your friend. There are lots of like stuff change, we really don't know. So there is like totally everything's impermanent nature, very uncertain. So that's why that like uncertain, like defecting, having the uncertain, that's the first one. And then second one, the defect, the providing no satisfaction, like so we call like a ngomba matters. So we are very like the unsatisfaction, like so we all the time, like we want something, like we really don't focus on what we have, like so we always focus on what we don't have, right? So all the time, like something, like we want something else. So that's why it says that defecting of providing no satisfaction. And there's one quote is so this quote is Buddha Shakyamuni. The Buddha Shakyamunis, we call like Ndo Jache Ropa. So there's one like sutra which names the extensive comic sport. So in here, like says, "O King, like no matter how many divine pleasure and fine human enjoyment there might be, if a single person were to acquire them all, and he would be unsatisfied and still wants more." See, this is very beautiful. The Buddha Shakyamuni says, like, all, like, that, like, not only like this human being, like divine beings, human being, all like what we have, like is you put together, give somebody, and then still like that person like not satisfied, like he wants something more, so like it seems like the more you have, and then your desire is more, like that like more grow. There's many story, that one of Buddha Shakyamuni's disciple like found something precious like stuff. Maybe I think it's like kind of piece of gold, and then Buddha Shakyamuni's disciple really wants to give somebody who like a need, and then he asked Buddha Shakyamuni and says, I want to give this one like the poor, like the one who is very poor, and then and Buddha Shakyamuni says, give it to like a king, to the king. Like he said, like he is the poorest in this world. So which means like the more you have a power, like your desire or like attachment is more like the bigger. Like so that's why the it says he would be unsatisfied and still wants more. So this is not only like the humanitarian's suffering. It's like general, like all samsara. And then third one is the defect of having no discord, one body again and again. So this is the third one, like because we born, we die, so that's why like we change our like body like again and again. So here the letter to the friend. This one also like from the Nagarjuna's teaching, like hayan de shin de chenpo tang sunya chatra dewa thon sar name meyu name meyu pushi chibai dunga jema cheba tensa laws. Like he says, you know, after like attaining extremely great that crystal pleasures, including the blissful, non-attached of Brahma like realm, like which goes like the heavenly realm, and then you return again to the continuous suffering of being kindly for the fire of unrelenting torment. Like somebody like the born in the heavenly realm and they enjoy their life, and then all of a sudden like they go like in the hell realm and suffering. Like so, this is the kind of what you call like our life change again and again. And then the fourth one is like the defend habit to be reborn again and again. So there's one quote about that. So that one also from Buddha Shakyamuni. We call like Nyangesap in those. There's one Buddha Shakyamuni's teaching, like the text, the dispelling the grief. So in this text, it says, not even the ocean could hold all the tears your eyes have cried when in this samsaric realm you were parted from friend. So this one is Yoyo Ninsa Joan Zashi Rat Travai Kowe Nes Gung Nipa Mig Chime Tipai Nej Janso Ruma is like for example like that like you depart, like you depart with your friend, parents. There's lots of like that sadness happen. So Buddha Shakyamuni says like all your tears put together, if you put like all your tears like put together, like even it's like a kind of the oceans like also like kind of like small became like a small container, which means like the lot, right? Like they're not only this life, like beginning less lifetime we go through this suffering. So so that's why it shows that we were parted from friends. Like so this is the fourth. And then fifth one is the defect having to fall from high position to the low one again and again. So this one also, that Buddha Shakyamuni's teaching, this quote, also from Buddha Shakyamuni's teaching, and we call like in Dwa Lung, the Vinaya scripture. It says, all accumulation are lost in the end. Everything that races eventually falls. All coming together ends in separation, and every living things ultimately must die. That's the Buddha Shakyamuni says, sopa kunji tanzeji is like, that we kind of like accumulate lots of money, and then it's like kind of like, the lost in the end. So everything like, so whatever you accumulate, like it's slowly is kind of like lost in the end. And then on just like, the everything that races eventually falls, like, the whatever we like, kind of like, the become like a president or high authority, whatever, and then like, the eventually like we fall on ground. And then Chebitan Tower, just like getting all becoming together and then separate, like, when we die, we separated like, all like your friends and your parents, whatever. And then Sembintan Chua is like, the every living things ultimately must die, So all like, so this, this when is once you born in the sixth realm, and then you have to go through like all this. Okay, so now the last one, the last one we call like true maybe Nyepa, like Elon, right? So this quote is from the Shantideva, in a Bodhisattva way of life. So what you call this one? The defect of having no companion, like, the defect having no companion, when which means like, the we born like, the alone, like we die, we're going to die alone, like, so, and then we got like a disease, all sufferings, you have to like deal yourself, everything. So, the in engaging of bodhisattva activity, that this is the Shantideva's teaching. It says, a living being is born all alone, and indeed, quite alone, he also died. And when no one else will share his misery, what use a loved one who merely hinder. So that's the, in a bodhisattva way of life, so when you got sick, like, you can share with your friend, with your family, you have to suffer by yourself. So that's why we come like alone, and we live alone, and we're going to die like alone. So that's the, the sixth one. So this all six is general suffering in a samsara. So that's the just general. And there's like, the specific, like, that hell dream, suffering, all those. I think if we go like a detail, this is little bit too much. And so right now it's 10:48. So I'm going to stop here. So if anybody have a question about this, and then please type in a Q&A. And then after that, Geshe Namgyal is going to teach us what you call that hand gesture. Thank you very much, Geshe. I appreciate your time and your teaching. You're welcome, Adam. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, and so next time we will do the the fourth level of circle. So Geshe Namgyal is here, and we're going to learn how to do the hand gesture. Does the eightfold path help with this suffering step in Christ? Yes, of course, this eightfold practice, like it's very, it's kind of part of the form of the truth. Yes, of course, yeah. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Just delay, everybody. Today I'm going to hand mudra third and fourth, right? This is Garintara sadhana. So here, agam padam, vajra agam ahum, vajra padam ahum, vajra pipi ahum, vajra dupe ahum, vajra aloke ahum, vajra ginde ahum, vajra nevde ahum, vajra shabda ahum. So, pad agam, agam is past, right? It's past, and padam, past. Now we pipe. No, I just join together, right? Fingers join together, and you need thumbs outside. PPA. First, PPA. And dupe, maybe you need together. Then here. Pick it together, join together. Then touch index and thumb here. PPA. Dupe. It's dupe. Again, PPA is from outside and the wall joined together. Dupe. Geshe. And if you want entirety, right? Entirety, you fast preliminary, right? Preliminary, and concluding is the first you snap right hand inside, left hand outside, and lotus mudra, right? You have time, 3 times, and not not try, not try. One is okay. And but you have time, then 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and agam. This way. And last, your right hand outside, left hand inside. Right? You know, this is Vajra fist. Vajra fist. Then you snap and lotus mudra and agam, then snap. This is symboling immunity and dissolve, right? Yeah, particular immunity, immunity and dissolve. Whoever yourself did this right, I look Deshwara and Grintara, you yourself who did this, then from heart chakra, worshipper immunity. Then agam means water for drinking, and pada means water for washing, and p flowers. Flowers, and dupe, incense. It's oh yeah, done. Thank you, everyone. Gisara.